Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an awesome life. Okay, we're going to talk about energy today. How about we talk about how everything works? Alright, so I've been told some things by sources, and one of the most important things I was told is, and I didn't understand it at the time, but I do now, everything is one thing happening at the same time. There's nothing separate. Every single choice that you could make is all playing out at the same time. Every reality exists. Every version of you, everything you've ever been, and everything you ever will be, exists all at the same time. And that's true of everything and everybody else. There's no such thing as time. It all exists in one big quantum field. Now, I don't want to go too deep into that because it's not something we can wrap our head around. And as humans, probably never will. That's why these scientists, they have such limiting thinking. They're just now going in a quantum field. Well, just a few years ago, they were thinking completely differently. They thought that the universe was coming in on itself. And now we know that it's expanding. So I don't even listen to that anymore. I know that there's no limits to the universe. Everything exists in every form, in every expression, in every time, in every planet, in every possible thing, in dimensions we can't even imagine. It's mind-blowing because we are in a dense body, and so don't expect to understand this. I call it the knowing. The knowing is you don't have the answers, you don't need the answers, you just know that what we are is beyond human comprehension. It's so high level loving that the word love doesn't even describe it. It's pure light, it's pure love, just expressing every possible expression of itself. Why? I don't know. I don't know because sometimes it's just not fun. Sometimes it just stinks to be here. It feels bad. But that's part of it. We don't have to feel bad. I want to talk about energy today because I want you to understand something, because if you can look at your reality in the way that I'm going to explain it, it might expand you out. I do an energy expansion meditation, guided meditation. I have a meditation playlist. I'm going to start doing some amazing meditations for you guys. I'm going to talk less. Some of you guys like me to talk, some people don't want to let me talk, so you can pick which ones you like. But we're going to start to connect you to your energy, which is all intelligent, not making independent decisions from you. Everything's energy, and it's not separate energy. You and I are the same energy. We're not sharing the same energy. We are the same energy. We are one energy expressing itself in every format. That means that you are the enlightened energy and you are the lowest of the dark. This is all you expressing itself in every format. It is nothing to be feared. It is just an expression. Human beings are very interesting because we are one of the most expressive species in the universe. We have emotions that higher beings do not experience. Because the ego is the storyteller that says that there's something wrong with what we're experiencing here, that there's no value in it, that pain must be eliminated, instead of understanding that if we look at the pain and the struggles that we experience and we get the lesson from it, we find what needs to be corrected, then it stops, it dissolves, it stops showing up. But we battle it. We don't see value in it. We think there's something wrong with us. Yeah, there's something wrong with us. The fact that we're not getting it. So when something happens that's unpleasant, it's like, okay, it's either time for me to switch and expand into something different, and I've got to change my habits, and this has been great, but maybe it's time for me to change something, or I've been hanging on to something that's been not good for me, and I need to examine that and say, how do I change my patterns and my thinking, and what does this mean? And when we end the negative thoughts about what's happening to us, the negativity period stops. We get it. And then our actions come from a higher place of learning and expansion. This is all energy. Your thoughts and feelings are energy. They affect absolutely everything. Everything that you do not see is intelligent. There's no some dead air out there. It is absolutely you. There's no separation between you and what's happening. It's you just creating at all times. You're always creating. So I think I shared with you in the last video that I saw a really interesting video, a really old video from Dolores Cannon. She had a psychic person that works with the police. She's amazing. And she talked about energy. This was a really old video, about maybe, I think it was 14 years ago. And she said how she reads things is through energy. So she can, the telekinesis and all this other stuff that people do. You're connecting with the energy that you are. So when she can actually read somebody's energy, because if they've touched anything, or even if you focused on something, your thoughts or your experiences, she has the ability, because she has no barriers, is to experience that with you, because she's sharing that energy. She's sharing your energy. So even if you got, had some trauma or got kidnapped or killed or whatever, that energy does not go away. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Just remember that. Nothing goes away. It's so important for you to watch your thoughts every split second, because that thought is one collective, and it flows through absolutely everything you see and don't see. That's how powerful you are. So I want you to think about that. If it's affecting it and it's orchestrating it, you're actually placing your order, what's happening in your life right now. Every single thought is creating at all times. That energy is not separate. So everything around you, beyond our comprehension, it never ends, is absolutely one energy reacting to you. It's not even reacting, it's you. It's happening. That's the only way I can put it. There's no chain reaction to it. It's happening. The chain reaction happens on the physical world because there's density. Sometimes it takes, human time for something to align, but it already has happened. You've already created it. And then we just have to be patient sometimes to see it show up in the material world, because the material world operates on different physical laws. But that thing that you've created has already happened. It's already in place. And then things have to line up and show up. That person that you want to marry that's amazing, maybe lives in a different country right now, will align and move here. And that may take a few months or whatever. So be patient with that. So people think if it doesn't show up, it's not happening. If you are focused on it, that energy must and is always manifesting that thing that you focus on. And this is the part of being human, is we are allowed free will to just create. As humans, this is part of the game. Let's be a human. Over there, it's just everything's whatever. Happy, happy, happy all the time. So here, it's the contrast. It's experience the contrast without knowing what our true power is. So what happens is, when you're here and you have a thought, you don't comprehend that you are actually manifesting at that very moment. And we're separating that. Oh, over here I'm thinking this, and I'll sit and meditate and create this thing over here. No, you're always creating. Everything's, one thought, one action, one manifestation expressing itself. It is not disconnected. There is nothing to attract. You are everything at all times, and you get to decide through your focus. What's focus? You have to believe it. You can't just look at something. So if you look at something and your thought behind it is negative, there you go. So you are always creating and manifesting these things into the material world. That's why it seems like there's a reaction and separation, because we think of the material world as the real world, and we don't realize what's going on behind the scenes at all times. And so when you are focused on something and you have disbelief, no faith, discouragement, lack of belief, maybe a little hope, you're creating that. It shifts into what you believe and think about that. It's not manifesting, it shifts into that reality. So people ask me like what they should watch for quantum physics. Actually, when you take my e-course, I have a few short videos on quantum physics that are cartoons, and they're really very clear. And I don't even believe that quantum physics really has all the answers. I believe it's a fraction of what's really true, and I think that in a few years they're going to change the rules about quantum physics and how that works. You don't need somebody else to tell you that you are absolutely beyond powerful, beyond your comprehension, and that you are creating at all times. That manifestation through your thought and beliefs. This is why you cannot, it is impossible to create something you desire when you are not believing it, thinking, and your true thoughts are that it's ridiculous. I want it, but that's not really what you're feeling and believing. You may really want that, and you know it would feel really good to have that situation or that whatever it is. And I guarantee you, the reason it's not showing up is because you really don't believe it. And your focus is on everything but that. And this energy that you are, it's not separate from you. You are that thing that you desire. Now, some of the biggest challenges, one of the biggest challenges for people is not really being clear on what they desire. You don't have to be crystal clear on the details of it. That energy still works at all times. It never stops, all right? So you are it. So let's say you desire a certain situation, but you don't know what that person looks like or what that job is or where that house is. Because you are the higher power and the lower one, connect to the higher power. It will make decisions for you, because as a human, you're not experiencing those capabilities. You are those. You are the higher source making those decisions. But as the human you're experiencing right now, you don't sense that. I have sensed that before. I've actually experienced being out of my body, looking at myself, talking to other light beings about what I was going to do. Ooh, that was really weird. And I realized I have conversations going on all the time about what I'm going to do here in this body, because I am that energy on the other side, and I'm this one. There's no separation. It's the experience. I'm the experience of Landria. So I decided that I was going to give up fear. And you know what? You may experience fear for the rest of your life. Just not reacting to it creates an opening for all probabilities to present themselves to you in a different kind of way. Fear blocks them. They exist, but if you tell yourself that it's not possible, then that's what you created. A reality where it's not possible. So what I want you to do, if you choose, is to understand that nothing goes unnoticed. No thought, no belief, no action, anger, resentment, judging the others, that's got to stop. I want you to see the beauty in the other. That energy is you. It is another form of you. Even though you don't feel that, you feel that you are you. Trust me, you are the energy that is the other person. You are the manifestations that all exist right now, and you can create anything. So you don't have to be so precise if you feel that you aren't able to do that. Just experience the love that you want to feel for somebody that's going to come in your life, and just be okay with the package sitting there that's not unwrapped yet, and know that in that box is that perfect situation, or what do you desire, and allow the universe to bring the highest form of that to you. And it will. It is you. It's you creating that. But it needs your personal permission as this role to do that. Because you're choosing, you're the creator. So if you think there's something separate from you, then there is something separate from you. And what you desire is not going to show up because you have not manifested it. You have said, I have no power, there's something else making separate decisions for me. But you have to give that free will, you have to give that permission to say, I desire, a high-paying job that I love with people that respect me. I'm giving full permission for this to be created. Thank you. Thank you. There's no rules about how many times you say it. See, that's that separation. Here's a trick. If I say it a few times, do I have to think about it all the time? You're not believing that you are the job. You're not believing that you are the abundance. You're not believing that that is you, that you're that energy. You're believing that that's a separate energy that's reacting to you. The separation is what stops and blocks you from manifesting the things that you say you desire, but you're not really believing. Which means maybe you're just not ready for it. Ask yourself why that is. Why do you resent rich people? Why are you angry at people who are maybe better looking or smarter or whatever? Right? That's a block to you being those things. Because you see that person as separate. And there's resentment. That is you. That is you. It's just an expression. And in this lifetime, you've got to express you as whatever your name is. So again, you don't have to wrap your head around this. But when you realize that there is nothing that is separate from you, that everything you touch is part of your energy, you are putting your energy, your thoughts. That's why ghosts and things, you come into a room that feels bad, when you come to a house that feels really good, that person's energy's in there. Sage, if you've been crying and down and whatever, get white sage out. I don't care what anybody says. If you got a roommate, tell them to buck up and deal with it. Leave the house for a while. Sage every corner, bless the house. Open the door and tell all negative spirits, not evil, negative spirits, you have no place here, because that's your energy. It's not something separate from you. That's the energy you have either created or connected to, and you've got to ask it to leave. Who knows why some of those energies are coming in or attached, but there is a connection between you and them. There are no coincidences, so there's a reason some things show up. It could be just an open gateway, that's all. There's nothing can harm you. There's nothing truly evil. There's negativity. It's an expression. You don't have to deal with it anymore. And by you raising your frequency, those things will dissolve too. Because it's part of you. It doesn't need to go through that anymore. Energy is everything. I want you to really grasp the fact that, oh my gosh, we believe that these thoughts stay here. These thoughts are out there creating at every moment, affecting every person, every intelligent thing that exists, which is everything, is always happening because you're conducting it. You're the orchestrator of everything. Everything. Not some of the time when I'm going to meditate, all the time. So take responsibility for your life right now and ask yourself how you want to change it. Sit down and meditate and say, I'm done. I'm done. Guide me to higher thoughts. Guide me to the right teachers. Guide me to the right meditations. Guide me to the right changes I need to make. Need. I'm going to use the N word. I need to make in order to switch over to that other reality, because everything's just a different reality. You're just shifting. Shift into the new reality. That is a different energy. And you have to act like it, think like it, believe it, and stop being the same person that you are that is not experiencing the life you desire. You have unlimited power. Unlimited. You are whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Connect to that. That is a mantra from the Master Key System. I didn't make that one up. It has healed people. It's done amazing things. You can create your own mantra, but know that whatever you say is true. It always is. Namaste.